Yeah, I'll start it off with, Nick Smith Jr. going to the Charlotte Hornets, pick 27. The guy was originally like a projected top 5 pick going into this collegiate season. He obviously got injured. He came back and he struggled in the tournament, and he really struggled in the tournament. But with that being said, the guy has all the skills to be a very solid player in the league. He's like a Jamal Crawford, Jordan Poole like player where you can come in a game and just light it up. He's shown that, but then he's also shown like the worst of him. So it's like, to me, another guy, Charlotte, similar to Amari Bailey, they're going to have to kind of like develop him in the G League. But I definitely do think he has a lot of upside there. Hopefully he can make the most out of his NBA career. I don't know if Charlotte's the right team to do it. Maybe with Jordan being gone, it's going to be completely different from a development player standpoint.
Could be, yeah.
But yeah, that's my first, sleeper of the draft.
I've got a couple here, and obviously Cam Whitmore. The fact that he slid to 20 and so many teams passed up on him, I think it's going to be one of those situations. I feel like 5-10 years from now, we're going to look back on it and say all these teams made a big mistake in not drafting him when they had the opportunity to do so. Again, I understand the whole thing about interviewing and workouts, etc., but he's only 18 years of age. People forget that. He's only going to turn 19 very shortly. And the fact that he, again, has plenty of years for development, and he's a couple of years younger than guys like Asora and Amen Thompson and, Jalen Hood-Schifino, all that of the like, I think they're going to live to regret that, in my opinion. Again, I could be wrong, but that's just from a personal perspective what I believe. I think the Pacers did a good job in nabbing Ben Shepherd at 26. He's probably one of the best shooters in this draft. Again, shooting's invaluable in this league at the moment, and we've seen what guys like Max Strus can do, and Duncan Robinson and that of the like when they come in and can fill up the points column, hit 3-pointers, really stretch the defense. Even Joe Harris, when he was in his prime playing for the Brooklyn Nets, you saw how damaging he could be. So I think that's a really good value pick. Julian Strawther has been traded to the Nuggets reportedly. Again, he'll be a guy that develops in the G League. But to get him at 29, he's got upside. I loved watching him at Gonzaga. Thought he was a really good prospect. That's all right. We just got a notification. He's a popular man.
Big ups, Pete.
But even like Chris Murray, again, Chris Murray was looked at as possibly being a lottery pick. Kings just missed out on him, but either way, they would have traded that pick to the Mavs report. Maybe they would have held on to it, but obviously the next pick, that Olivier Maxence Prosper, he went to the Mavs. So whether the Kings would have held on to Chris Murray had they drafted him would have been a different story, but likelihood they would have. So the Blazers luckily get him in that spot, and I think it's a good value pick at 23.
Yeah, for sure.
Left-handed, basically left-handed Keegan Murray. It's pretty much what the comparison to him would be. They're identical in every way.
Jalen Hood-Schifino.
Yeah, I think that's a good value pick. I think teams were looking at him anywhere from 11 to 13.
Yeah.
So if the fact that the Lakers did get him,
Big ups, Lakers.
big ups Lakers, especially because, again, we don't know the certainty of D'Angelo Russell's future there. Dennis Schroeder. Austin Reeves as well, correct. So they have a guy with a 6'4" frame, 6'10" wingspan, solid defender from the point guard position, really good playmaker. He's got all the tools that are required to make it into this league as a point guard. And if I check it out here, I'm just going to look at what the Ringer had him compared to, because I didn't get to watch a lot of Jalen Hood-Schifino. I caught glimpses of it, but he does. He definitely does. I'm just going to pull this up here. Where are we? Oh, so shades of Spencer Dinwiddie. He's a big cerebral guard who thrives as a playmaker from the mid-range. I think he can definitely work on his three-point shooting. He only shot 33.3% from the three-point line. But, again, NBA game's different. Bigger court, shorter shot clocks.
Playing with LeBron, AD.
Correct. When you play with more talented players around you, you can tend to thrive a lot more. And I think he'll be the perfect kind of player for the Lakers. And the Lakers will make him a better player as well. So I think he's a very professional kind of player. So I think it was the right pick for the Lakers in that situation based off their fit and their roster. But will they rue the decision of not selecting Cam Whitmore in this situation? But we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to say that for a lot of teams, but that's just I'm like I said, I'm a big Cam Whitmore, Brandon Miller guy, so I'm going to always
with
fight a flag for them.
Yeah, the news with his workouts, and I'm glad we went with Scafino just because he still probably would have been asleep in the draft. And it's like, you can't really go wrong, especially with guards like you mentioned going out, Reeves, potentially Russell, Lonnie Walker. It's like, can't have like good depth for them, and then like still a big believer in Max Christie. So if you pair those two for the future, I think that's a pretty scary, maybe not scary, I won't say that, but it's a pretty solid like second unit for next year, because I think Max Christie will for sure, his minutes will just continue to rise. So,
similar trajectory to like Austin Reeves, how he started to get more trust with the organisation once he actually
I could see Max Christie like
having that same progression.
For sure,
But yeah, other than that, I think the winners for me in this draft were the Rockets, again securing 2 top 5 talents in this draft within the top 20 and not having to trade up for Cam Whitmore. Pacers with Jarris Walker, Ben Shepherd in the first round. I think they're 2 solid picks. Jarris, again, defensively will improve them immediately on the front line. Add a bit of that sort of aggressiveness and that strong body that they do need down low. And Ben Shepherd will add that scoring presence, especially from the 3-point line, especially with Buddy Hield's uncertainty with his future at the Pacers. Whether they decide to extend his contract, whether he looks to go to a contender, that's something we don't know. So to have a guy that can come in off the bench, shoot the 3 ball really well, that's a win for me in my eyes for the Pacers. But yeah, who do you have as the winners?
So Hornets for me, I mean, Nick Smith Jr. picked 27. I think that's pretty damn good, especially because he's someone who was projected top 5 start of the year. Some people still had him go on lottery, get him 27. I think that's very solid. And then Brandon Miller, I just think it was the right pick at 2. They didn't go with the scoot noise, and they just stuck traditional, stuck to them, stuck to who would actually fit next to their franchise cornerstone, LaMelo Ball. I think that duo is going to be really scary next year. Love that. And then obviously Amari Bailey, another player, projected lottery probably at the beginning of the collegiate year. Had a solid year at UCLA, and look, not perfect, but he has plenty to work on, and put him in the G League. I think he can be someone there for the future.
Yeah, 100%. I think they're looking like they're trending in the right direction. I should say. Yeah.
Like the play-in, maybe bottom end of the playoffs in the East. But yeah, besides that, I mean, had to say Hood Scafino, Lakers, that was also a win. So, yeah, those were my 2 wins. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up my winners and losers from the draft.
Yeah, pretty much the same from my end. I think you can look at a multitude of teams. I think, like I said, we mentioned it with our sleepers and our steals of the draft. So, I don't know. One pick I want to mention, the Jaime Jaquez. His draft stock was all over the shop.
That's the Asian.
No, that Mexican, the one from UCLA that went to Miami.
The guy with the long hair.
Yeah. So he was the Pac-12 Player of the Year. He was, he's had 2 really good tournament showings the last few years. So I can understand why Miami would go there, especially if there's any place that he could go to that would nurture him and he'd thrive in. It's Miami Heat. Especially with the history, like I said, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Haywood Highsmith, Duncan Robinson. If they can turn guys like that into not all-star caliber players, but again,
even like Luke Babbitt thrived there.
Yeah,
played pretty well.
Yeah, so Pat Riley has this knack. Eric Spoelstra, one of the best coaches in the league. I think they like these kind of players that and I think he's going to be a good plug-and-play kind of player. I think he's willing to accept his role going forward, and I think that's what the Heat need. They need more depth in that front, and with some of these guys aging a little bit, Kyle Lowry, Kevin Love's future, we don't know what that's going to look like at the Heat. So to find a guy like Jaime Jaquez at that point in time when could have been sneaking up in towards the lottery maybe,
Yeah.
that's a stretch. But again, if there was a possibility there, I think that's a
That's a win.
win for the Heat. A win for Jaime Harkers as well, to be honest.
Yeah. No, that's
But yeah, that's all we have time for today for the draft review. Let us know your thoughts on your team and how you think the draft played out for your specific team, and whether you're happy or you're very miserable as a Hornets fan.
big us Hornets. You guys made the right decision if you're
Exactly.
a Charlotte fan. Hey, it's positive. Trust me, Brandon Miller, he's him. You guys are going to win a lot more games for years to come. But overall, yeah, I think it was a pretty good draft. Like, it was really stacked. We got a lot of sleeves in the second round. So it just says something overall about how good this class really was. And I know they say that every year. But I genuinely think people are saying outside Vic and Scoot, there's not much there. But I really do think there is a lot of guys who can help teams right away. They might not be stars, but they're ready-made NBA guys.
Yeah,
So,
correct. I think a lot of years where you look at a draft and they say it's stacked, it ends up becoming a weak draft, and other drafts where they say it's weak, it ends
it's
up
always
being
like the top 10 are really good,
yeah.
but then the overall class isn't so good.
Yeah.
I think this overall class, like the players in the second round, they're very valuable pieces.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, let us know anyway, guys. We do have a 1,000 subscriber giveaway. If you haven't already noticed on a lot of our videos that come up, we are giving away a jersey worth up to $150 from the NBA store.
Yeah.
So to be in the running, just follow the prompts that will show up on the screen.
Hello, yes, you at home. This is Commissioner of the NBA speaking to you, Adam Silver. Here's a message in courtesy of BenchMob in collaboration with the NBA store. When BenchMob hits 1,000 subscribers, they'll be giving away a free NBA jersey to a lucky subscriber. So just do all the things listed on the screen. God damn it.
And yeah, once we hit 1,000 subs, one lucky subscriber will be in the running to take that jersey home. So be in it to win it, guys. Make sure you join our community. We're going to be posting a hell of a lot more. But for now, that's all we have time for. This has been your boy Danko.
It's been Marcus.
It's been an absolute pleasure, guys. Peace out.